Good morning, grade 10. How are you all doing? With you, teacher Nada Dia. We'll start our first online session today, girls, and we'll start with literature. Okay, the selection we'll take is The Blue Stones. The Blue Stones. It's in page 688. 688. Okay, we usually discuss the message of the story or the moral of it or the theme of it before we start taking it. So here, before reading, we will ask ourselves, what problems are caused by jealousy and greed? Jealousy and greed. So jealousy, you know what is jealousy? When someone is jealous of you, he hates seeing that you have everything, or maybe you have one thing he doesn't have. So he feels jealous of you. So what is greed? Greed is the desire for wealth. Okay, that the person is not satisfied of what he has. He wants more and more. Jealous is a bad thing, and jealousy and greed together is more than can be handled in a person. So he says that jealousy and greed are part of the human experience. But what happens when these feelings go too far? Okay, because we know that jealousy can be something good, when you're jealous of someone, because your friend is always the first of the class, so you feel like a little bit jealous. You want to be the first too, so you study harder. This is a good kind of jealousy. Someone lost weight, you want to lose weight to look thin as she does. So this is a good jealousy. But when jealousy goes too far, that when a person wants the thing that you have is to vanish from you. How does it mean? That you do not only want to be as smart as she is. No, you want her not to be smart anymore. So that's it. That's it when jealousy goes too far to be handled. Okay, so the selection we're about to read is about a woman whose jealousy and greed lead her to make an unwise decision, because the jealousy blinds the eyes of the one who is jealous. Okay, you will wish her bad or evil things to happen because you are so jealous of her or of him. The question he asks: have you experienced or witnessed a time when jealousy and greed caused conflict? So let's ask you girls, have you ever faced that your friend, you meet someone and then you figure out that she is so jealous of you? So jealous, and she's greed. She wants the things that you have to disappear. She wants you to be harmed or something. And let's get more deeper. Think with yourself. This is the most important question. Have you gone through these feelings before? Have you ever felt jealous before? Have you ever felt jealous of someone before? And was it a good jealousy or a bad one? Ask yourself, think and ask yourself. Then we move to page 689. And we know that for each story we have a skill to learn, we have a text analysis. The text analysis allegory. We'll study the allegory. What's an allegory? Allegory is a story that functions on two levels, a literal level and symbolic level. So we are about to read a story that has two faces or two levels, literal and symbolic. What is literal? Literal, it means that I have characters, I have events, I have a plot. So it is this literal. What's symbolic? Symbolic, it means that the story's level is behind the literal. It's not only telling us about a plot. No, it has a deeper meaning. It symbolizes a deeper meaning. The literal story may tell a tale that seems ordinary of people and events. However, on the symbolic level, the allegory is like to teach a moral lesson. Okay? To be effective, the allegory must succeed on both levels. On which levels? The literal and the symbolic. Okay? So as we read the blue stones, we'll think of the literal and the symbolic level and the events that might stand beside their literal meanings. The reading skill we will take is paraphrase. What's paraphrase? You know, summarizing is to retell the story, but in the few important points only. You know, when your mother goes to the mall and both of you are watching a movie, and then she says to you, when I come back, tell me what happens. So you just tell her that he died at the end. This is summarizing. They caught him and he died at the end. This is summarizing. But paraphrasing is to retell what happened in your own words. So you tell her that he got a date with his friend, he went late, they met, they did the same time of the main story, or less than the time of the main story, but you tell all the events, not summarizing, not just telling the most important events. No, paraphrase is to restate the whole story, okay, in your own words. Okay, so it should be shorter than or about the same length of the original source. Okay, and the skill of paraphrasing, this is what you learn. Then we move to the author of the story, Isaac Dynson. She was born in 1885 and died in 1962. The story you're about to read is an allegory by Isaac Dynson. Tells a traditional sounding tale. However, Dynson is best known for Out of Africa, an anthropological, biographical, and autobiographical account of her years in British East Africa, which is now Kenya. She lived in Kenya for many years and she wrote an autobiography of those days she spent there, okay? She was born in Denmark. She has a spirit of adventure, okay? And then he will tell us here, in 1914, the couple she and her husband, they went there in Kenya and they established a coffee plantation in what is now Kenya. Blixen Finnick was a wayward, faithless husband. Her husband was faithless, who often left Dynson on her own. He used to leave her alone. After they got divorced, Dynson ran the 6,000 acre from herself for 10 years. Then she ran the business for herself, okay, by herself. Although she is regarded as the European author who best captured the beauty of the African landscape, she wrote equally accomplished work, okay, here. She wrote accomplished works about Northern Europe and the Danish upper class because she was born there in Denmark, okay? Many of her stories celebrate the power of women. After she returned to Denmark in 1931, she published 7 Gothic tales, stories set in Europe hundreds of years ago and featuring mysterious events and persecuted heroines. Heroines is the female hero of the story. She published Out of Africa in 1937. So we can say she's a feminist. She was talking about the power of women. So we know we are going to read an allegory, girls. An allegory, okay?